All right, I picked up another tractor today. I got a MTD, or the CCC, the Cub Cadet Corporation, the yellow and white 482. And since I had one of each now, I figured it'd be a good video opportunity to go over some of the stats and specifications of both of the 482s and the production run. Now, the 82 series started in September of 1979 and it ran through April of 1981. That's when all the International Harvester built 82 series with the serial number tag that looks like that is when they were produced. And then International Harvester sold to MTD, which is Modern Tool and Die, and that's when they became the Cub Cadet Corporation, and they made the CCC built tractors, which the serial number tag looked like that. And this production went on. They made both yellow and white for the Cub Cadet dealers, and then they continued to build the 82 series on to 85 for the International Harvester agricultural dealers until International Harvester sold to, became Case IH, and then they just continued making them yellow and white. So the serial numbers for the 82 series for the red ones started at 665001 and it ended in serial number 693143. So them were your International Harvester serial numbers, the red ones, and then when they sold to MTD, MTD started the serial numbers as 700000, and they went up from there. Now the IH built 482, the red one as you see here, made by International Harvester, the last serial number and production of the 482 through International Harvester was 688742, and the IH International built 482 ended in February of 1981. So that's when they quit building the 482s. They continued building other 82 series tractors through April. It just wasn't the 482 model. All right, we'll go ahead and talk about the engine in the 482. The 482 replaced model 1100. They came out with, that was part of the quiet line they made up till 79. Then they come out with the 82 series. They just continued, the model 482 replaced that one. They both 1100 and the 482 used a Briggs and Stratton model 253417. It's an 11 horsepower single cylinder, 24.36 cubic inch. It's got a 3.43 inch bore and a 2.62 stroke. These engines are pretty hard to find now. You can't even get parts for them. They're not even available. You don't see them too often. A lot of them, this wasn't the best engine Briggs and Stratton ever made, so a lot of them didn't last. This tractor, I found the engine runs strong in it, so I'm going to take this engine out and put it in my IH built 482, only because the red 482 is more collectors and I want it to be original. The difference with these engines that International used in there, the air cleaner and carburetor came over to this side, the right side of the engine. Now, the engine that I'd gotten in this 482, which I didn't know it at the time until I'd gotten it home and researched it, Briggs and Stratton also made 11 horsepower engines, the same type, but the air cleaner and carburetor and everything was on the left side of the engine. So someone had replaced this engine because the original one went out, and this engine runs fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I want my red series to be as close to original as I possibly can. All right, now I've told a little bit of facts about the engine. I'm just going to go ahead and start it up and let you guys hear it run. Drivetrain of the 482, this was one of the most, it was sort of the cheaper model. Once you get from like the 1, 2, 3 82s, the 482 is your bare bone Cub Cadet for the garden tractor line. The final drive in it, instead of using the 3-speed cast iron rear end, IH decided to use. It's a shaft drive. It goes up to an angle gearbox up in here, and then it's a belt drive to a peerless transaxle. Now the peerless transaxle was a model 2342. You really can't see it. There was other model, I think John Deere and other companies used the same, transaxle as well. It's not bad. It's just you really couldn't do any real major heavy pulling with it. Like for a pulling tractor, you'll start to run into issues with that. These gearboxes have 4 forward and 1 reverse on these. And like I said, they're not a bad rear end on these tractors, but they just weren't, super heavy duty like you'd find in the 582. I'll try to get you an underneath side shot here of the peerless rear end. You can see this is your gearbox, and then it's got a belt that goes from the gearbox down to the rear end. This one looks like it's leaking a little bit, and over there you got your brake. All right, 482 is also a little different than most of the other 82 series tractors. Since it was the cheaper one, economy tractor for the line, this yellow and white tractor actually does not have the original tires on this one. As you can see, my red 482 would have been the original tires that came on it. They're 16 by 6.5 by 8s on the front of both of these, but the rear tires for the 482 were supposed to be 23 by 8.5 by 12s. Now there was options you could get on these. You could get the 23 by 10.5 by 12 ag tires and stuff, but that was an option. So you can see the yellow and white 482 definitely has the wider tires than what would have came on this tractor stock. Now the 482 was a bare bone machine. Like I said, it didn't have rear tail lights. It had reflectors on it originally. No headlights, no tail lights, just a plain front grille on both of these. Headlights was an option for the 482 that you could get. My IH built one here, you can see there's no hour meter, there's no amp meter, no nothing. You got a throttle, a choke, and a PTO switch. Now this 482 actually has an hour meter, and someone had added the amp meter on this one as well. I can't recall if the yellow and white 482s even ever came with an hour meter. I don't believe they ever did. So I would say more than likely someone had added this hour meter on this model as well. All right, the 482 is a pretty light tractor. It weighs in just under 500 pounds. So it didn't weigh as much as its other 82 series like the 582, mostly because the different rear end and the single cylinder engine. The 582 Special, which I'll be doing a video on that too, probably on the whole 82 series collection specifications on them. The 582 Special was very similar to the 482. It had the same peerless drive rear end in it. The only difference between the 582 Special and the 482 is the 582 Special came equipped with hour meter, amp meter, headlights, taillights, and it had a 16 horse twin cylinder Briggs and Stratton engine in that instead of the single cylinder like you've seen in the 482. One other note I wanted to make about the 482. The yellow and white 482 like you see that I have here, this was actually a 1984 production model Cub Cadet, but the 482 was the first model, the MTD with Cub Cadet Corporation, that came out of their Brownsville, Tennessee plant in the fall of 1981. So that's just a little fact there. If you look online, you'll see pictures of it, of a 482 with all the workers standing around at the Brownsville plant. So model 482 was the first yellow and white after they'd taken over tractor that they produced that came off their line. This is a little interesting fact there. And the 482 production ended in 1984. So the 482 technically only ran from 79 to 1984, and that was it. They'd done away with it. The model you see right here, this was a 1984 built 482, so it would have been one of the last ones produced for that year, and that was it. All right, I hope this video helped people that had questions or wanted information on the 82 series, even the model 482. If you guys want to see some more videos like this on the whole 82 series, going over specifications and stuff, go ahead and comment below. I'll try to get some of these. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell when I come out with new stuff. You guys will see it. I didn't go over all the mower deck options and that kind of stuff, like 3-point hitch and other options that were available for the 482, but be sure to click the description below and I will put in there everything that I said about serial numbers and information on it if you guys want to screenshot it for future references. As always, thanks for watching.